Here is my dad, John Richard Mellish, who is an ex-hockey player. He played for the New Zealand national hockey team from 1983 to 1989. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Billy.
How did you first get into the Black Sticks, and how old were you, and then what did you feel like?
Well, I first got into the senior men's Black Sticks in 1983 to go on to a tournament in Pakistan. But prior to that, 2 years prior to that, I got into the junior Black Sticks, and we went away with the junior Black Sticks, and we played in a World Cup qualifying tournament in Hong Kong, but we also played hockey in China. We went up to Guangzhou and we played in Singapore as well. It was an amazing trip. And then the following year, after that, at the end of that year, I fell off my mum and dad's roof when I was painting it over summer to make some money for university. So, and broke both my arms and couldn't play that year. Had to convalesce and do lots and lots of physio, and then so I had a year off. Getting into the Black Sticks, or getting into the junior Black Sticks, I suppose was the first thing, because it was a real surprise, and I only really got into the junior Black Sticks because one of the goalkeepers had broken his arm, and the selectors, because I hadn't played junior hockey for Wellington that year, they didn't know that I was the right age, but because I was playing for the Wellington senior men's team in the Challenge Shield, which we played in Whangarei, and at the end of that tournament, one of the selectors came up and asked me if I was available to go away to Hong Kong, and it was only about 3 weeks later. So I had to quickly prepare and get ready to go over to Hong Kong. So it was all a bit of a surprise, but it was a very nice surprise. So to get into the senior men's team as well was great.
And how old were you?
Well, I was 23 when I got into the senior Black Sticks.
What about juniors?
I was 21.
Yeah. What was the uniform like for both teams?
Oh, well, as a goalkeeper, we had our own goalkeeper shirts, but they were always seemed to be too tight and made of polyester and usually a bright colour. But they always had a silver fern on them, so you sort of wore them, but I found them pretty uncomfortable. They never really quite got the sizes right. They got better later on, but I think the men's uniforms are a lot better now, especially playing in those hot countries, playing in Pakistan and Malaysia. I think the uniforms are better now.
What type of padding did you have?
Goalkeeping gear.
Yeah.
It was pretty. Oh, yeah, it's very different. It was before the days of the foam pads. The Oboe helped develop, and quite a few of the hockey stick manufacturers got into making them. So they were still old. They were a bit like cricket pads, but they were symmetrical, obviously, and really heavy. Lots of cane and K-Pop. But what I used to do was, because they were so heavy, especially playing in the wet, and even playing on the water turfs that we started playing on overseas, I started ripping all the K-Pop cotton out, and getting foam from Para Rubber Company and cutting it up and then sewing them all back up again. So they still had the cane in them, but the foam didn't absorb the water, so it made them a lot lighter. So I got very good at using a leather awl. I'd spend hours and hours and hours sewing these things up. And there was a goalkeeper in Auckland who started making kickers as well and selling them like that he was using an industrial sewing machine, because the gear was pretty minimal. And in fact, the first internationals I played, you didn't wear a face mask or a helmet. You occasionally put a sort of plastic face mask on for corners, because in those days you could hit the ball in the air on corners on your first shot. There was no you didn't have to hit the backboard. So quite often, the corner strikers would undercut the ball very, very hard up in the air. So it was a little bit more dangerous, but no one had any padding. The fullbacks didn't have any protective gear or masks or anything like that. So that's really improved all that stuff.
Did you have any injuries, Ruby?
Not really. I took a couple. To the head before the face masks. Before we started using helmets, but nothing too bad. A couple of splits and cuts, but probably my worst injury was actually a training injury before going away to the qualifying tournament for the World Cup. We were playing a tournament in Barcelona, and we were going on a European tour. And it was only like about 4 weeks before going, I pulled a medial ligament in my knee training on grass, because we at that stage we had the first AstroTurf was the first turf, was built up at the National Hockey Stadium at Mount Albert. So we trained on that, but because there was only only one turf, it was really hard to get on it to train, because there were so many games and practices. So we used to just go over and practice on the grass pitch across the road, and slipped over and tore him. I didn't think I was going to be able to go, but with lots of physio and strapping, I still went away, which was fantastic.
What was the most exciting moment from your career?
Most exciting moment? Well, on my whole career, it's hard. Well, I suppose winning the gold medal at the Junior World Cup qualifying tournament was a highlight. When I was in the Junior Black Caps, because we went away.
Junior Black Sticks?
Yes. What did I say? Black Caps. Sorry. Junior Black Sticks. We weren't called Black Sticks then, of course. We were just the junior men's hockey team. We against all odds, we after losing the first game to India about 6-0, I think it was 6-0, we ended up facing India.
Did you say Olympics? Was it Olympics or World Cup?
No, this is qualifying for the World Cup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we won the tournament, and we beat Australia in the final, which was a highlight. And probably another highlight was when we played a 3-match series for the Australia Games, and in Melbourne, and we lost the first game, and then we won the second game, and it was all on for the third game, but we just lost the third game. So any game against Australia where you win is always a highlight. Cool. Next question.
That's it.
That's no more questions?
Yep. This was John Richard Mellon. It was very nice to talk to you.
Yeah. Good questions. Thank you, Billy.
Yep. And hopefully see you lots more times again.
Yeah, well, I'm coaching you this year, so you'll see lots of me. Okay.